In like a lion. I'd never guessed I'd be a good basketball player. I mean, I'd always loved ball, mostly because my father loved it so much. And because Rowdy loved it even more. But I figured I'd always be one of those players who sat on the bench and cheered his bigger, faster, more talented teammates to victory and or defeat. But somehow or another, as the season went on, I became a freshman starter on a varsity basketball team. And sure, all of my teammates were bigger and faster, but none of them could shoot like me. I was the hired gunfighter. Back on the res, I was a decent player, I guess. A rebounder and a guy who could run up and down the floor without tripping. But something magical happened to me when I went to Reardon. Overnight, I became a good player. I suppose it had something to do with confidence. I mean, I'd always been the lowest Indian on the reservation totem pole. I wasn't expected to be good, so I wasn't. But in Reardon, my coach and the other players wanted me to be good. They needed me to be good. They expected me to be good, and so I became good. I wanted to live up to expectations. I guess that's what it comes down to, the power of expectations. As they expected more of me, I expected more of myself. And it just grew and grew until I was scoring 12 points a game. As a freshman, Coach was thinking I would be an all-state player in a few years. He was thinking maybe I'd play some small college ball. It was crazy. How often does a reservation Indian kid hear that? And how often do you hear the words Indian and college in the same sentence? Especially in my family, especially in my tribe. But don't think I'm getting stuck up or anything. It's still absolutely scary to play ball, to compete, to try to win. I throw up before every game. Coach said he used to throw up before games. Kid, he said, some people need to clear their pipes before they can play. I used to be a yucker. You're a yucker. Ain't nothing wrong with being a yucker. So when I asked my dad if he used to be a yucker, what's a yucker? He asked. Somebody who throws up before basketball games, I said. Why would you throw up? Because I'm nervous. You mean because you're scared? Nervous, scared, same kind of things, aren't they? Nervous means you want to play, scared means you don't want to play. All right, so Dad made it clear. I was a nervous yucker in Reardon. Back in Welpinit, I was a scared yucker. Nobody else on my team was a yucker. Didn't matter one way or the other, I guess. We were just a good team, period. After losing our first game to Welpinit, we won 12 in a row. We just killed people, winning by double figures every time. We beat our arch rivals Davenport by 33. Townspeople were starting to compare us to the great Reardon teams of the past. People were starting to compare some of our players to great players of the past. Roger, our big man, was the new Joel Wetzel. Jeff, our point guard, was the new little Larry Soliday. James, our small forward, was the new Keith Schultz. But nobody talked about me that way. I guess it was hard to compare me to the players from the past. I wasn't from the town, not originally, so I would always be an outsider. And no matter how good I would always be an Indian. And some folks just found it difficult to compare an Indian to a white guy. It wasn't racism, not exactly. I don't know what it was. I was something different, something new. I just hope that 20 years in the future they'd be comparing some kid to me. Yeah, you see that kid shoot? He reminds me so much of Arnold Spirit. Maybe that will happen. I don't know. Can an Indian have a legacy in a white town? And should a teenager be worried about his frickin' legacy anyway? Jeez, I must be an egomaniac. Well, anyway, our record was 12 wins and 1 loss when we had our rematch with Welpinit. They came to our game, so I wasn't going to get burned at the stake. In fact, my white fans were going to cheer for me like I was some kind of crusading warrior. Geez, I felt like one of those Indian scouts who led the U.S. cavalry against other Indians. But that was okay, I guess. I wanted to win. I wanted revenge. I wasn't playing for the fans. I was playing for the white people. I wasn't playing for the white people. I was playing to beat Rowdy. Yep, I wanted to embarrass my best friend. He turned into a stud on his team. He was only a freshman too, but he was averaging 25 points a game. I followed his progress in the sports section. He led the Wellpinett Redskins to a 13-0 record. They were the #1 ranked small school in the state. Wellpinett had never been ranked that high, and it was all because of Rowdy. We were ranked #2, so our game was a big deal, especially for a small school battle. And most especially because I was a Spokane Indian playing against his old friends and enemies. A local news crew came out to interview me before the game. "So Arnold, how does it feel to play against your former teammates?" the sports guy asked me. "It's kind of weird," I said. "How weird?" "Really weird?" "Yep, I was scintillating." The sports guy stopped the interview. "Listen," he said, "I know this is a difficult thing. You're young, but maybe you could get more specific about your feelings." "My feelings?" I asked. "Yeah, this is a major deal in your life, isn't it?" "Well, duh, of course it was a major deal. It was maybe the biggest thing in my life, ever. I wasn't going to share my feelings with the whole world. I wasn't going to start blubbering for the local sports guy like he was my priest or something. I had some pride, you know. I believed in my privacy. It wasn't like I'd called the guy and offered up my story, you know. And I was kind of suspicious that white people were really interested in seeing some Indians battle each other. I think it was sort of like watching a dogfight, you know? It made me feel kind of exposed and primitive. "So, okay," the sports guy said. "Are you ready to try again?" "Yeah." "Okay, let's roll." The camera guy started filming. "So Arnold," the sports guy said, "back in December you faced your old classmates and fellow Spokane tribal members in a basketball game back on the reservation and you lost. They're now the #1 ranked team in the state and they're coming to your home gym. How does that make you feel?" "Weird," I said. Cut, the sports guy said. He was mad now. "Arnold," he said, "could you maybe think of a word besides weird?" I thought for a bit. "Hey," I said, "how about I say it makes me feel like I've had to grow up really fast, too fast, and that I've come to realize that every single moment of my life is important, that every choice I make is important, and that a basketball game, even a game between two small schools in the middle of nowhere, can be a difference between being happy and being miserable for the rest of my life." "Wow," the sports guy said. "That's perfect. That's poetry. Let's go with that, okay?" "Okay," I said. "Okay, let's roll tape," the sports guy said again and put the microphone in my face. "Arnold," he said, "tonight you're going into battle against your former teammates and Spokane tribal members and the Wellpinett Redskins. They're the #1 ranked team in the state and they beat you pretty handily back in December. Some people think they're going to blow you out of the gym tonight. How does that make you feel?" "Weird," I said. All right, that's it," the sports guy said. "We're out of here." "Did I say something wrong?" I asked. "You're a little asshole," the sports guy said. "Wow, are you allowed to say that to me? I'm just telling you the truth." He had a point there. I was being a jerk. "Listen, kid," the sports guy said. We thought this was an important story. We thought this was a story about a kid striking out on his own, about a kid being courageous, and all you want to do is give us grief." Wow, he was making me feel bad. "I'm sorry," I said. "I'm just a yucker." "What's that?" the sports guy asked. "I'm a nervous dude," he said. "I throw it before games. I think I'm just sort of metaphorically throwing up on you. I'm sorry. The thing is, the best player in Wellpinett, Rowdy, he used to be my best friend, and now he hates me. He gave me a concussion that first game, and now I want to destroy him. I want to score 30 points on him. I want him to remember this game forever." "Wow," the sports guy said. "You're pissed. Yeah, you want me to say all that stuff on camera?" "Are you sure you want to say that?" "Yeah, all right, let's go for it." They set up the camera back again, and the sports guy put the microphone back in my face. "Arnold, You're facing off against the #1 ranked well-penned Redskins tonight, and their all-star Rowdy, who used to be your best friend back when you went to school on the reservation. They beat you guys pretty handily back in December, and they gave you a concussion. How does it feel playing them again? I feel like this is the most important night of my life, I said. I feel like I have something to prove to the people in Reardon, the people in Wilpinit, and to myself. And what do you think you have to prove? The guy asked. I have to prove that I'm stronger than everybody else. I have to prove that I will never give up. I have to prove that I will never quit playing hard. And I don't just mean in basketball. I'm never going to quit living this hard, you know? I'm never going to surrender to anybody. Never, ever, ever. How bad do you want to win? I have never wanted anything more in my life. Good luck, Arnold. We'll be watching. The gym was packed 2 hours before the game. 2,000 people yelling and cheering and stomping. In the locker room, we all got ready in silence, but everybody, even Coach, came up to me and patted my head or shoulder or bumped fists with me or gave me a big hug. This was my game. This was my game. I mean, I was just the second guy off the bench, just the dude who provided instant offense. But it was all sort of warrior stuff. We were all boys desperate to be men, and this game would be the huge moment in our transition. Okay, everybody, let's go over the game plan, Coach said. We all walked over to the chalkboard area and sat on a folding chairs. Okay, guys, Coach said, we know what these guys can do. They're averaging 80 points a game. They want to run and run and run, and when they're done running and gunning, they're going to run and gun some more.